Opening statement, the biggest thing I want to say is just we found a way. Sometimes they're not pretty, but what we talked about, and I'll go straight to when we talked at halftime. We talked about just defensively. I felt like we were a step slow, and I felt like we were a little reactive. And what they do, they respond. And we came out a 27-point third, but it was off of our defense. Being able to get those turnovers, transition points off of turnovers, second chance opportunities. That's how we're activated. And so as we're learning about who we are, creating this identity, it always will start on defense. And so I am very proud of our group. For sure these two carried us, but there were so many. I mean, we're talking in the locker room about Maggie Besselink and how she literally flies all over the place. Hustle plays, second chance opportunities. But it's a team effort, and I'm just proud of how hard we just fought to the end. It was a 13-3 run down the stretch. We had career highs tonight. We finished those. We made those free throws down the stretch. We went 34 times. But our goal is 80% or better. And so we know we're going to get there because we're super aggressive. We got to knock them down. But Pacific was, again, a good team that we talked about, runs a lot of sets, continuity. And I just thought this group, we found a way to win. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. So very proud of our team.
So my first question for Natasha. So what is the importance of having back-to-back games with 10 or fewer turnovers?
Well, I think we talk about valuing the possession, right? And we talk about, hey, we want to always be under 12 turnovers per game under, right? And so at the end of the day, when we went in at halftime, we had 8. And when you look at the second half, we had 2 in the second half. And some of it was just high-risk plays. I thought we got into just our continuity, motion offense. We're moving the ball around instead of settling for those quick shots that can lead to those turnovers sometimes. But when we share the ball, when we value each possession, good things happen. And so those are things that we talk about. Our point guards do a phenomenal job. I think Jaddan was, 3-1 today? No, Trey was. Trey only had, 1 or 2 turnovers. But we have to value the ball. And we have to make good decisions and make the extra pass and make the right play. And so after our conversation at halftime, we adjusted. And then we only had 2 turnovers there. So 10. It's under the 12, so we did a good job.
Coach, I think one of the last times I talked to you, you talked about starting in your press and pulling it back defensively. Tonight it was a little bit of the opposite. What kind of went into that decision to start not in it, and then what made you see that you needed to put it on, and how that benefited you guys?
Well, again, it's just what their counter was to the press, and knowing that they had really quick guards, and they had, we call them zero gaps, they had shooters. And so they were throwing it over the press. So we had to make adjustments on just where that down guard was going to go, taking that middle away. And then coming out of the locker room, I just felt like we needed to be more aggressive. We weren't as aggressive in the first half, so that was an adjustment. They didn't see it early. And so for us to be able to come out and really jump on them defensively. And then in the fourth, we took it off again, because it sped them up and they were throwing it over our heads. So if we could spot it, if we could play for 40 minutes, however we need to do to just kind of get that energy, get that effort going. But I think being able to put it in, run it in the third, that was a really good adjustment for us.
For Jaddan, you had a career high 26 points tonight. How did it feel when you achieved scoring a career high in points for you?
I mean, it always means a lot because it's been a minute since I've been up there like that. I was struggling in the Virgin Islands a little bit, so it just feels good to get back home and just really concentrate on what I need to do to help out my team. But even getting the career high, I just know the team, it could be anybody on any given night, so it's just nice to have that.
With the travel back over here to the States, and now you have back-to-back nights, what's the exhaustion level like tonight, and now knowing that you have to play again tomorrow in the afternoon? Anyone can answer that question.
Well, we just did it, right? And it was 3 games. And so, you're going to win a championship playing back-to-back games. So I think right now it's just the mindset. This game, we talked about it, right? We're excited that we did get the win, but now we have to shift, right? Now it's on to Xavier. And that, they're tough. right? They're tough, they'll rest. We won't do a lot, obviously, in walkthrough, so it'll be more of a mental prep. But at the end of the day, I think for us, we have depth as well. We just said in the locker room, it may be someone else, like Jaddan just said, and that's the versatility of our team. It may be Jaddan again, it may be Ice again, but I'm okay with whoever it is, they'll be ready, and the goal is to go 2-0 in our tournament.
Coach, what were some of the adjustments that you made in the locker room at halftime offensively that allowed you guys to come out the way you did in the second half?
I just thought we had to be more patient. We just talked about how we were all just kind of rushing shots. And in the second half, you saw us run more continuity, turn the ball more, not settle for just one quick shot. And I think that you saw that helped. We got more openings. We got more shots that were give up the good shot for the great shot. And that's how we were able to just execute offensively. We just were more poised instead of quick offense or everyone kind of taking individual shot shooting opportunities. So when we're more patient and we're more poised and you see us change sides, right, and really make the defense guard, that's when we're more effective.
What was the decision where at halftime you had 0 3-pointers, but came back into the second half and still shot a lot more in the paint, drove through the lanes instead of taking a corner or a wing shot? What was the decision on that?
Well, we were seeing what was working. I mean, we got to the free throw line 34 times. So playing downhill and being aggressive was working more than settling for the perimeter shot. And at that point, you put foul pressure on. So I think we learned how the referees were calling the game, what was working. And for us, anytime we can turn the corner and get 2 feet in the paint, something good is going to happen. And if they collapse, obviously we would have kicked. But if we had that path to the basket, we're going to take that first.
Coach, obviously they went on that big run in that fourth quarter, but you guys came up with some really clutch stops. What do you think the difference was for your defense to come up big when you needed it?
It was winning time, right? It was winning time. And we said we're going to win on defense. And that's the thing, like this group, we weren't playing not to lose, right? We were doing whatever we needed to do to win. And Pacific is a good team, and we knew that coming in, but we knew that we were going to win the game on our defense. And so we just, we grinded it out, what we had to do.
Jalyn, you're very strong offensively when it comes to creating your own shot. What did you see in the ways that they were defending you tonight that allowed you to get to the ring the way you did?
I feel like over the course of, the couple of games that we did play, they probably watched film in the Virgin Islands, and I shot pretty well. So I realized most of the time if teams see me shooting pretty well in the game before, it's going to be a driving day. So today I saw that they were pressing up on me, so it was a good time to actually utilize my foot speed and get around them and get to the basket and finish.
You're very good.
And speaking of the Beyond January Classic,
Yeah.
how meaningful it is to host the Beyond January Classic named after a Sun Devil legend that transformed the program.
Yes. Well, we talked about it before the game, and if you know Breon, she did it on defense, right? I mean, she was relentless defensively, and we said that, that's a way to honor her. But to be able to be in the second year of the Beyond January tournament, win our first game, we want to make sure that everyone understands that, there were so many players that came before us. And to be able to pay homage to them and just honor them, especially Breon, is just to play hard and leave it all out on the court. And so I think she would have been proud of our defense, especially down the stretch. And then we need that same effort plus more tomorrow.
Coach, what are your keys for tomorrow's game?
Defense. Again, defense. We're going to defend. We're going to rebound. We're going to run in transition off of our defense. And we're going to execute into the best shots possible to score. Make it hard for them. Protect home court.